I don't know why up to now Cuba does not have a direct flight between Africa and Cuba. And I think since you are here, we need direct flight between the Caribbean countries and Africa. We don't mind. We don't mind the sanctions that they put in Cuba. Zimbabwe and Cuba, we share a similar history. 23 years later, we're struggling with the sanctions. And I think you can unlock the financial benefits to Cuba if we can just discuss just that one item, ships and airplanes between Cuba and Africa. Just imagine the amount of business that can begin to move. Because when you're moving from the Caribbean to Africa, you must go through Europe. And then you connect, and then you come down. When you want to go back, you must go leave your money in France, and in Belgium, and in Frankfurt. And then you go to Cuba again. But when they were coming to collect slaves, they didn't go via Europe. They just went straight like this. But to maintain colonialism, it has been made impossible that the entire Caribbean islands, from Jamaica, St. Helena, to Curacao, to Trinidad and Tobago, to Suriname, that you cannot connect the Africans. Because once you connect them, once they can talk to each other, there's going to be a problem. And we say so, we love and we really need the Africans in diaspora. Because they've lived with the white man for a long time. They know the skills of the white man. Yes. They know the banking of the white man. They know the ways of the white man and the technologies of the white man. In case you've forgotten that I'm a bishop, the Israelites were served by Joseph, who was in diaspora. He had to go there so that he could help them over there. The amount of tourism that could happen without the involvement of America, just to have a flight from Caribbean into Africa. The amount of education that can happen just by opening transportation. Your universities are still better than our universities here. The amount of marriages, someone say hello out there. Come on, someone say hello out there. I need some Caribbean daughters-in-laws and sons-in-laws and stuff like that. You guys, you go to church and you cry and say, God is not answering my prayer. I can't find a husband. Shut up! Look across the waters. There might be some ripe bananas across the water. So there is a way in which we can unlock the resources of Africa by simply opening a direct communication. I bet you even if the flight is once a month between the continents, the amount of benefit which we all can realize is immeasurable. So I am grown up now. I'm grown up. I don't need to persuade people and hang around people that I know they don't like me. Because there are other people that like me. And by the way, even if you don't like me, there are others also who don't like you. Okay? So, no, I don't take it personal. When people come on my social space and they write, hey, me, Maponga, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. And I answer them and say, I also don't agree with you. Because if you and your wife and husband disagree, who am I? I'm outside of you. I don't even know you. I don't even sleep with you. I don't have to agree with you. So we don't have to spend all our lives hanging around countries that we know that they don't like us. It's now clear that, sorry for if there's a white man in the house, I'm sorry in advance. It's clear that the white man cannot change his ways. They come to Africa to teach us democracy. If democracy is the best way of governance, then why should we fight for it? If you are so educated that you think that no, people must live under democracy. Oh, beautiful. Then if democracy is the best way of governance, then why did Ghana go to war? Why did Kenya go to war? The Mau Mau war. Why did Tanzania go to war? The Chama Cha Mapinduzi. Why did South Africa go to war? The Azanian Congress system. Why did Zimbabwe go to war? The Chimurenga. And we had to fight for democracy. And for crying out loud, America, next time you come here, you will sit down and shut up. We are teaching you what democracy is like. You don't even have a clue. You can't even spell democracy. You start with an F. Spell democracy. It's only now that we've liberated our continent. Now you want to bring some observers of elections. Did you bring observers of colonization? Did you bring observers of war? Did you come to observe the genocide? Did you come to observe? Now that we are free, you want to come and supervise peace when you are the ones who are sponsoring war. I want to hold myself there. I might lose my brain. But I hate the hypocrisy of the Western countries and the North countries. That you cannot abuse me for 400 years. You rape me. You cut me to pieces. You do as you please. And after you are done, you come around with a white suit, I will help you to heal. I know where you must get the best medicine. I will help you to bandage the wounds. No, don't cry. And when you cry, no, people that are raped, they don't cry like that. Cry nicely. It is not as bad. That's being narcissistic and evil to the highest order. You've done what you have to do, now just get the out of here. Get the hell out of here. And if I need help, I know people that can help me. These are my family. These are people that love me. And this way I can get my full healing. And you are in trouble. Hell, I come back to full health. I'm going to come and look for you. With everything that I have in my body. I know some of you have become Christian. If a man gives you one, clips you on one cheek, give him the other cheek. How come that just only applies to Africans? Give me a white man right now. Bring the white man. I want to give him one. Then I want to read him the verse. No, don't revenge. Give me the other cheek and let me see if they are willing to take the other cheek. And so religion is pacifying the consciences of Africa. While they are busy praying and mourning, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus. You're wasting your flipping time. There's nothing profitable that comes out of a sorry sight. If I were you, I have come so that they may have life. Not just life. Life in abundance. And Africans must not apologize of living lives abundantly. No sorry Africans deserve to live on Africa. We cannot apologize for being Africans. But the Chinese don't apologize. My lovely Indian brother does not apologize. The Chinaman does not apologize. Immediately an African talks that I'm an African. Oh, no. You are becoming a bit, you're becoming a bit political. It is unacceptable. Acceptable? You come to me and you give me a clout, young man. One clout. When you are done, I will take a knob here and I'll smash your head. Ask me why. You did what you wanted to do with the power that you have. And once you have abused me, you have no right of telling me how to retaliate. So my hands are too nice. I don't want to spoil them by beating you back. I'll take a stick and I'll mess up your head. Listen to me, Africans, carefully. And study so that you don't act like fools. The Jews, up to date, they remember what the Germans did to them. Hello? Hello? Yeah. The Americans, the Germans, the British are still paying for what they did to the Jews. And the Jews are not sorry about that. They are still looking for the soldiers who were involved in the Nazi wars in Germany. They even forced the United Nations to give them their own country. Israel was cut up from the Palestinians By the way, Uganda was on the list also. Go read. Go read. Don't pray too much. You must pray this way. And when you pray next time, put a toothpick on your eye. Don't close both eyes. And see what's happening. Uganda was actually going to be a gift to the Jews. Come here. Cut land that belonged to the Wanyoro and say, now this is for the Jews. As United Nations will protect you. This is our gift to you for what the Germans have done to you. Now you come around and you talk about 2 million Jews that suffered in the hands of the Germans. No one wants to talk about the 25 million people that perished on the transatlantic ocean. No one wants to talk about slavery that killed thousands of people around the world. When an African talks about reparation, payback time, the whole world would tremble. Because if we can stand together as a nation, the World Bank that has sponsored all the wars, the IMF that has been involved in these scandals, all those banks must close to pay the debt that they owe to others. And now we know, we are grown-ups, now we know that for every bullet that you hear out there, there is a bank behind that is involved in paying for those bullets. So while Africans are gathering at the graveyards, the white man is gathering at the bank to count and pay each other the spoils of war. So our lives are lives of funerals, and their lives are lives of banking. Yeah? And our presidents, if they are not careful, they have become puppets who watch over the colonial project to make sure that the government in power does not tamper with the business of the multinational companies that are busy looting Africa. So our presidents go to France and take some frozen pictures in stupid little ties and bow ties, looking like some stooges. They just go there to shake hands. We see them on the internet while the meetings are going on. They're fast asleep and they're drinking. And when time for taking pictures, they're wide awake and they come back home here. There's a flat in Essex, there's a flat in Paris, and they come around here to manage, to make sure no black man wakes up to discover a little bit. And I don't apologize for that. It has taken me time to get here, and I want to recognize the presence of my elder Jaja, who is here. Please, with all due respect, hang around that man. He has been my mentor for the past 8 years, and it's amazing that I have to identify him from the south when you live with him right here. And I bet you half of you, if not 3/4 of you, don't even know where he is in this town of yours. Let's get started. Put your hands on your head and say after me, this is how I think. Come on, even at class, you all participate. Even those who failed in their high school, in my class, you will pass, okay? Say after me, this is how I think. Let's say for the lady in yellow, she was too slow. Let's go together. This is how I think.
This is how I think.
Put your hand on your heart and say after me, this is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
One more time, this is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
Put your hand in your head and say after me, this is how I do.
This is how I do.
One more time, this is how I do.
This is how I do.
For the sake of the slow learners, Mama, let's go together. This is how I think.
This is how I feel.
Let's go together. This is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
And this is how I do.
This is how I do.
There are 3 things you're going to spend the rest of your life doing. Number 1, you're going to spend the rest of your life collecting correct information. This thing here is not for cosmetic use, for hanging hair pieces and hanging necklaces and putting powders and removing eyelashes and shaving and etc. And you look in the mirror and say, how do I look? We don't care how you look. We worry about the furniture between your ears. That is your brain. So when you look yourself in the mirror, don't look at the cosmetic look of your face. Look at the quality of the furniture between your 2 ears. But what goes on there? What goes on there? And after you've found the correct information, you need to identify where your heart is. And I'm afraid to say many of us, when I look at this classroom, I call it a classroom today. When I look at this classroom full of professors, I now know where the problem is. It is the distance between your head and your heart. Many of us have gone to school, but school has not gone through us. People go to school and they take their heads to school. When they come back, they feel nothing. They feel nothing for the poor. Because the system told them, you are better than them. You are doing fine now, you see? If all Africans were like this would be a better place. So we have our own Africans, whom I want to give a new name today, which you call coconuts. What do you call them? Coconuts. One more time, what do you call them? Coconuts. They are brown on the outside, white on the inside. They are thinking. The tools of their brains are Massachusetts tools. Oxford University. Cambridge University. Oh. Pennsylvania. Andrews University. I was when I was in Brisbane. When I was in California. When I was in Paris. And you come around here with your Paris and your Oxford and Cambridge to your own local people, and all of a sudden your people are a nuisance. You can't, and you hear some of them saying, you Africans, I don't understand you. And then you look at them and say, so who are you? Because now that you are coming from the other end, your brains are thoroughly brainwashed. You come back here and you are the weakest link on the system. So come with me today. We need correct information. Number two, we need correct passion. One more time. We need
correct passion.
You need to translate your information from the head into your heart. And love Africans and feel for the Africans. Have compassion for the Africans. Find the Africans. Where are they? What are they doing? How can my philosophy, my professorship, my doctorate, my certificates help my fellow Africans to become a better person? Unfortunately, we display our houses with the doctorate that we have, and you can't even manufacture a whole engineer who can't even manufacture a toothpick. I'm not asking for something complicated. A what? Or pads for our young ladies. Pads. You simply take cotton and etc. and put a lining on it and produce pads locally. Someone with me? Produce pads locally. I'm not asking for complication. That maybe try and make a rocket. Let's leave that for tomorrow. For tonight, we just make toothpicks. Africa is importing billions of toothpicks from China. And we have engineers who sit at the Nyamachoma. The problem of Africa is, hey, you are the sleeping problem yourself, because your education has not made you relevant. Instead, your education has made you a useless piece of uneducated furniture that is wasting space and air on the African continent. I think if you're an engineer for 10 years and you have discovered nothing, you have innovated nothing, you have created nothing, chemical engineer, I'm a pharmacist, farming my food. You can't even just take a small little herb in the bush and make a tablet. I mean, come on guys, you don't need mathematics. You can dissolve some chlorophyll in water and make a solution. And then boil the solution, remain with the powder, make the powder, package it up, and there is your medicine. Or take the roots, put them in alcohol, drain the alcohol, evaporate it, then what remains? There is the chemical. Or use other things. There are 1,000 ways. Our grandmothers knew how to make gin, tot, as they call it. You put banana leaves and water, rapoko and sorghum, boil it in a big pot, and then put a pipe that comes out of that, put a cold blanket around that, fractional distillation, and then it will be dropping on the other side, a drop at a time. Now if you don't know the scientific method of the past, how can you relate to the present and challenge the future? Collect correct information. Find your heart Where is your passion? But it's not just about passion. Find your hand. What are you going to do about it? What is your action plan? What are the do's as you go forward? So Africa needs to combine just those three H's. H number one, the head. H number two, the heart. H number three, give yourself a round of applause, 100% in the class. So here we go. Here we go. Full swing. I come from an institution called Farmers of Thought, where we've taken the model of farming into the models of thinking. So we use common knowledge to teach uncommon knowledge. Are you following? We use the simple to explain the sophisticated. We use the basics to explain that which is beyond understanding. So I take you to Farmers of Thought, where I say just farm your head, farm your heart, and farm your hand. Is that okay with you? Yeah. And the best illustration is an illustration of a tree. There a tree is standing, first platform at the roots. So here's a statement, roots we water. Come with me? Roots we water. Did you think I'm talking about the roots? These are your ancestors. This is your history. This is where you come from. And this supports everything. Everything does not support this. You can hear me? Roots support a tree. A tree does not support the roots. And the tree grows from the roots. If you don't know your roots, you are a pot plant in the colonial pot plant. Once you get to the roots, you may just find that you're connecting with the fountains of water that are in the ground. And that's where life begins. On another day when I come, we'll go deeper into the ground and find why we bury our loved ones in the ground. And when plants are having conversations and collecting nutrients, what is it that ends up in our fruit that is coming from the ground? That's the only advantage of bringing my lunch box with me when I travel. Only those who are fast can catch me. The rest of you, you must ask when you get home, what did he say? Roots you water, trees you look after. Fruits you eat, seeds you plant. Simple. Roots you
water.
Trees you
Look after.
look after. Fruits you seeds you plant. Your ancestors are your roots. Your father and mother are your trees. You are the fruits. And inside you are the seeds for the next generation. And by the way, for the purposes of progress, what is in the roots is in the tree. What is in the tree is in the fruit. What is in the fruit is in the seed. And when the seed is planted, it will grow to the same quality and the same species of the roots from whence it has come. Then those that have gone to theology school come and ask me, so what do you say about ancestors? And I say, ancestors, it is you in the past and it is you in the future. Oh, can I make it easier? Ancestors. It is a meeting place of the past and the present. The past and the future. It meets in the present. And you are the present. A full representation of where you are coming from. A full representation of where you are going. And the two spaces of time are present. So time, if you come from a nice day, time is not cyclical, according to my fellow Chinese and etc. Time is not cyclical or zodiacal. Time is not linear, according to the Romans. In African spirituality, time is vertical. Time is vertical. Time is present. Time is here. We don't have fear of the past. For the past is right here. We don't have fear of the future. The future is right here. If there were mistakes in the past, we correct them right here. If there are challenges in the future, we prepare for them right here. Therefore today issue that we are suffering right now in the Pan-Africanism, just to put some disclaimer clauses, is that our idea of Pan-Africanism has been contaminated by concepts of democracy. Come with me? Has been contaminated by what?
Concepts of democracy.
You cannot be a Pan-Africanist and you still believe in the rubbish of democracy. Because you are simply changing masters from socialism to capitalism, or from capitalism to socialism. The bosses are still the same. You have not gone anywhere. You are like a rabbit that is running in a mill and thinking I'm going somewhere, but you are still in the same place. We have our own concept of governance. So, come with me. I am a good teacher. So I'm going to ask for 7 young people to come forward. I want to start with you, madam. Let's call it governance. Put your hands together for governance. I am writing a software in your spirit. You won't need anyone else to talk to you about African issues and Pan-Africanism. We are settling it tonight. When I'm done with you here tonight, all of you will be clear of the agenda of where we are going and what we are supposed to be doing. When I hear a lot of things, I belong to more than 40 or 50 Pan-African groups. Yes, stand right there. I'll be calling you as I want you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not on the uniform also. Come and paint this place look nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, too late. Too late for classification. I have my 7. So let's move here to the far end here. Let's call your name governance. What is your name? Governance. Come on, what is your name? Governance. Through governance, we learn the first problem of the bottlenecks that we are talking about. One of the first problems that we have in Africa is the problem of governance. There are many ways of governing a society. From meritocracy to democracy to benevolent dictatorship to monarchical systems to fiducial whatever, the whole dozen methods of ruling and governing people. And Africa is running her country, Africa is running herself using borrowed governance systems. Alright? The problem of governance is that governance brings its own religion. Governance brings its own marriages. Governance brings its own banking system. Governance brings its own education. When you swallow this tablet called governance, in a democratic way, you actually have to accept everything else that is going with it. This is exactly where President Museveni is right now. He signed a treaty some time ago. Uganda will be democratic. Huh? It will be democratic. Now they come 5 days later and say, oh, if you are democratic, you forgot paragraph 5 of democracy. It also speaks about rights. What rights? Their rights. But you say democracy is majority rule. Now I'm going to get philosophical here. Go follow me carefully. You say democracy is majority rule. So people have voted. So 100 people are voting. 90 people say no. 2 people say yes. Democracy says you go with the majority. They come with human rights and says no, majority does not count. Minority must govern majority. And you say no, but the definition of democracy is that if we as people say we don't want it, then we don't want it. No, there are other sections that protect human rights within the democracy, that the minority must be protected by that. Now this is where it gets complicated for me, because now it doesn't make sense. I don't know, some of you maybe are smarter than me. I know there are professors here. Maybe I've been able to process it. I failed to process it. Because when I looked at the definitions and the applications and the challenges of Africa, now it looks like this thing is not coming together in a good way. Governance is the first problem that we have, and there are many bottlenecks here. For the African governments can only do so much, and they can't do so much more, because the quality of their governance removes all the indigenous governance systems and leaves the country in the hands of politicians. You can quote me on this one until the cows come home. Every African government is a crime scene. Ask me why. Ask me why. We have African leaders who are ruling countries that don't belong to them. The land does not belong to the politician. The land belongs to the indigenous people. So through democracy, power has been moved from the indigenous people to a group of politicians somewhere there. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm talking this as an African problem. So don't even try to make Museveni feel bad towards me. This is truth. It's a problem of Uganda, the problem of Zimbabwe, the problem of South Africa, the problem of Libya, and as long as we don't talk about it, we'll never be able to solve it. So governance is number one. Come, number two. Let's call her education. What is her name?
Governance,
my name is
education.
Your name is education for tonight, right? Her name is what?
Education.
Her name is education. Governance, then education. Education speaks to the quality of information that the African must have so that he can be able to champion his own future. Our education right now is a passport to travel out of Africa and die on the Mediterranean because you are educated. Your skills must go somewhere else where they can be appreciated. The African studies everything else about other people except nothing about himself. Nothing about herself. Our education does not help us. We study how many legs does a grasshopper have. How many of you still remember the fibia, the thorax, and what thorax? So when last did you apply the thorax of a grasshopper? I understand if you are going to do agriculture, then it's fine. Are you with me? Maybe it's okay. But to force the whole community to be studying the thorax of a grasshopper, I don't even remember when last I saw a grasshopper and where the grasshopper thorax fits into my equation. But if you fail to identify the thorax on an exam paper, then you are not educated. Fail to identify the thorax on an exam paper, then you are not educated. Yeah? So our education is memorized driven. It is not solution driven. One more time. It is memorized driven. So you go there upon the summit of the heights, where only windswept nations grow. The golden streaks of dawn, and he, a patient sentinel, shall boom to the offended sky to show that all is well. A white fish eagle sails along, its mighty pinion humping true, till down towards the island. But he's got it! He's got it! You just memorized the poem. So where in life are you going to apply that poem? Unless you want to become an entertainer, like my brother. But if I fail to memorize a poem, am I stupid? Am I uneducated? So we find that our educational system only specializes in memorizing, and the subjects that they have chosen to measure IQ are irrelevant to our resources. Now follow me carefully. I'm going for higher grade now. You see, it is sickening for you to be studying the thorax of the grasshopper and doing a memorizing of a poem when your house is sitting on top of a diamond mine. And you don't know the geographical, meteorological composition of the ground where your house is sitting. So the first subject in class must be, who are you? Identify yourself. Where do you come from? I would suggest rather geography must be one of the first subjects which must teach children what kind of plants grow in your place, what kind of minerals are found in your place, what kind of animals are found in your place, what kind of businesses can you start in your place. That gives us number 3. His name is what? Business and economics. First bottleneck, governance. Governance, we're talking about putting laws and regulations that make it easier for Africans to do business. Right now, if you are found right here with the police carrying a diamond, you will be arrested. You will sleep in jail. Then you walk up to court and ask, why are you arresting me? Then they tell you, we have a policy and a law that was formulated in 1925, 1933 about the Black Act that Africans must not carry diamonds. Who wrote that law? Which year was that law written? For who? For the why? So we need young politicians who can walk up to governance systems and challenge these laws that are no longer relevant to the African children and unlock businesses you must only do business in white hands. You can't do business in black hands. You tell me that our forefathers had policies to build the pyramid. They had policies to build the empires. They had regulations and laws that forbade people to. On another day we'll talk about community structures. But they that forbade people to. On another day we'll talk about community structures. But they